Or in the meantime, a lot of people say, you know, you need that traditional candidate to have a chance of making it to the White House. You know, that's what they were saying worked against a guy named Dwight Eisenhower in 1952, that he was a general. And yes, we had Ulysses Grant who made it to the White House. But the fact of the matter is, few and far between outside of he and maybe Andrew Jackson could pull that off. And in the modern era, the argument was that Dwight Eisenhower would not be able to pull it off. Now they're saying the same about, let's say, a Trump or a Ben Carson, that they're outside that proverbial petri dish. But my next guest, Diana Furchtgott-Roth, says, you know, the Eisenhower example could ring true again, and compares both of these gentlemen to General Eisenhower in that way. Explain.
Well, I think that it's folly to disparage outsiders, because it's clear that that's what Republican voters are after. Donors are looking for the safe candidate, the Jeb Bush, the moderate with the track record. But voters are looking for somebody who can shake things up.
They are in the beginning, Diana, right? And then I always liken it to sort of spring and summer flings. And then the closer you get to the event, you settle, and I don't mean disparagingly of establishment types, you settle on guys you know.
Exactly. It's a little bit like flirting. You flirt with a lot of people, but then when it comes to marrying somebody, when it comes to getting into the voting booth, maybe you're going to pick somebody safer.
Well,
but it doesn't look like that right now.
That was my dating strategy in high school. I would always tell girls, you know, I'm built for comfort, I'm reliable and all that. It never worked, but I understand in politics now and then it does, right?
But right now, as we heard just now, it's the outsiders who are ahead. And it's people who are running against Washington who are ahead.
So you think that lasts a while? I want to pound this theme because you're very smart at this. You're very good at the history of this. And I always remind people, you know, everyone says this can't last. Well, it's lasted a while already. It's already beaten the length of staying on top of the polls for, let's say, a Donald Trump very quickly for Ben Carson. So it could last, right?
Exactly. And it's enabled Trump to actually put in place a good field operation in Iowa and New Hampshire. He's taken advantage of this. So he really is somebody to be reckoned with. But it's also the voter dislike of Washington, of traditional politics. It's the 13% approval record that Congress has. So these are all things that work in favor of outsiders. And even Bernie Sanders, he's not running on his record of decades in the Senate. He's running as an outsider.
Very true.
Rubio and Cruz also running as outsiders.
You know, real quickly, I had Herman Cain on with me yesterday, and he was telling me the difference between the brief fling that voters had with him 4 years ago and now is that they're really sick and tired of being sick and tired. I love that play on that theme, that now they're angrier and more annoyed than ever.
They really are, yes. But of these four outsider candidates, Rubio has the lowest number of unfavorables. He has the lowest number of people who dislike him, if you look at the recent polls that just came out yesterday.
But he's a sitting senator. That always amazes me because he's a sitting senator, albeit a disenchanted one, an angry, restless young man, son of Cuban immigrants. But that is interesting because he's not exactly anti-establishment. He sits in the United States Senate, for God's sake.
Right, but he's a first-term senator. He's running against Washington. He has very low unfavorables. He's likely to go very far indeed.
All right, Diana, thank you. Very good reads on this. Meanwhile,